Hello, YouTube. Well, I'm kind of sort of caught up on enough other things that I've decided to spend today dismantling the Ford 2000 a little more. I still have not decided what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to rebuild this engine or what, but I need to pull the engine out of here and dismantle it and just see what I have as far as usable parts. I want to see what the crankshaft, the connecting rods, camshaft, and what all that is, what all those things are like before I make up my mind how I'm going to approach reviving this tractor. I've been coming down here into the barn every morning for the last several weeks and hitting things with PB Blaster. I know people have a lot of different opinions about what the best thing is to loosen up a stuck engine. I just used PB Blaster because it was the easiest thing, and I don't know, I think it's probably about as good as anything else. So I'm going to get some blocks set up underneath the torque tube here and get ready to pull the front end off and take the engine off. So while I'm doing that, you can watch this short video I made a couple days ago of doing some work on my new idea rake. So I'll bring you back in a bit. This morning I'm doing a little work on my new idea 402 rake. It's been working, but I saw something that I really didn't like. The shift fork here that engages and disengages the rake is out of alignment. It's not seated very well in there. What's happened, there's a bracket here that this is supposed to sit on that shoulder right there, and it's spread apart and it's kind of come out of place, and it's holding the fork kind of not in its proper place. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this apart, maybe weld a tab onto the far end of these two and get it back in place, and maybe put a 1/4-inch bolt on the far side there to keep it from spreading apart. So that's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with this. It sitting there on the shoulders like it should. I had to straighten some things out. The inside one was wore where it had been rubbing on the axle. I built that back up with the welder. The shift fork here was wore a little bit too. I built that up, and I welded these ears onto the inside, put a 5/16 bolt in there to keep it from spreading apart. So everything is lined up well. The shift fork is lined up well. It works good. The only thing, I don't have a self-locking nut, so I just tacked that nut on this shaft. I can grind it off if it ever has to come off again. So all I have to do now is put the hub and, of course, the overriding clutch, part of the hub, back on here, put the pin on, put the tire, and I'll be ready to rake hay again. Well, so far this is ugly with a capital UG. You can see how badly rusted that idler gear is there. The gear on the distributor drive, the cam gear. Not looking good. Okay, I have to confess to being just a little bit befuddled right now, because everything I've read says that 2000s are not supposed to have the 2-stage clutch, which means live power. But this one does. There it is right there. 2-stage clutch, bigger than life, with the transmission input shaft here and the input shaft here for the PTO. So I'm going to have to read up on this a little bit more, but the net result is it makes the tractor a lot more desirable to me as far as using it on the bush hog. But anyway, interesting development there, but I still need to get the flywheel off here and get this thing upside down and see what I've got for a crankshaft and other internal components here. And a quick aside, it's 90 degrees and humid outside today. But fortunately, when I turned this end of the barn into a shop, I salvaged more from the old farmhouse than just the pellet stove. So, hot and humid outside, comfortable in here. Well, I've got the oil pan off and it's kind of a muddy mess down in there. That doesn't look too good, and of course there's lots of mud back in there, but what's more concerning is if you can see down in there, the camshaft is no good. It's rusted up down there. Looks like the oil pump drive is rusted where it goes into the block there. That number 2 piston, wow, it looks like I'm going to have to dynamite to get that thing out of there. But yeah, I'm getting pretty pessimistic about this engine, considering you see the rust on those 2 gears in the top, and the gear on the other end of the camshaft that drives the oil pump is also pretty rusty. I think I'm going to pull the rod caps off, see what the crankshaft looks like. Okay, I've got the rod caps off. The number 1 rod journal here has some discoloration. They all had water in them. What's really concerning me here is the number 2. Of course, I think something was going on with this engine before it got all filled with water, because that doesn't look good at all. I don't like the color of that. And here's the bearing, and something was going on there before. This is the number 3 bearing here. You can see some issues there. These appear to be the original bearings. Oops, blinding myself there. And it fell down, but that's okay. Then the rod cap, I don't like the color of that. Again, I think this thing had issues, I think, before it was parked, but now I don't have a decent crankshaft as is right now. Don't have a camshaft. The block is funky. I think I've seen enough. I just don't have enough usable parts here to rebuild it between the cam and all the gears that are rusty and everything. So I think I've seen enough. I need to look for another engine. So that's what I will do now. So the fact that it does have the 2-stage clutch, it does make me want to turn this into a decent tractor and use it myself on the bush hog now. So I don't know when the next chapter of this Ford 2000 revival will come about, but whenever it does, we'll bring you an update. So until then, everyone out there, have a good day.